The power of being seen and heard is so important. It tells you that you matter. It really does. It shows you that you matter. And it makes you feel like you have a place in the world when it's proof. I am seen, I exist, I matter, and I can accomplish anything. I wish when I was a kid that I would have seen myself, and I didn't. But that's why I'm doing what I am now. I really think that I was inspired to tell stories because I lived in such a small town in rural Illinois, and I'm one of 8 adopted children, and I'm the only Black person in my family and in my little town where I grew up. And so reading, first started with reading before it went to TV and movies, was really my escape and one way to leave the little town where I grew up. And then writing became this opportunity to put myself into these stories and to put people like me as the heroes in the stories.
One person, one mother can make a difference.
It was really important to me when the concept of telling an Emmett Till story was presented to me as a job, was told from the mother's point of view. And so that we could really get a glimpse of what it's like for the family to experience this tragedy. And so that it didn't feel like a true crime story where we were in the courtroom or we were with the police, and that maybe we would get a couple scenes with the families or the victims. It was really important to me. And the only reason, actually, the condition that I would do this is if we could tell it from his mother's point of view, and that we could get to know him and see his birth and see him coming of age, so that we could really understand what was taken from this mother. And my goal is, to relate to anyone, to all mothers, to all family members, to see Emmett, and their family members.
His death woke up the world, Mamie.
I knew who Emmett Till was. I had no idea that that decision to open the casket woke up the world. I didn't know. I mean, this is an international story because she said, okay, put his name in the press. She spoke to the press. She went out to churches. She was speaking everywhere. She went to Mississippi. She could have stayed home. They were threatening to kill her. So I didn't know. And I think unless you're a woman who is on a quarter, or, like you get a paragraph in a history book, like unless you're out there, like you are known as an activist, there aren't a lot of Black women who are recognized as women who were part of the civil rights movement. And it's often women who are behind the scenes, or it's often, unfortunately, in Mamie's case, she was a victim of a crime, and it was how she handled being a victim, the decisions that she made. And so there are so many stories of women who made massive contributions to the civil rights movement, but they just aren't as known. People just don't know. And so that's my goal, because there are just so many women who unfortunately haven't got their flowers. What I really hoped, and still hope, because we're on Hulu now, and so I'm hoping that people just keep watching, is that people see the humanity in Emmett Till. He had just turned 14. He was on vacation. He just wanted to have fun and live his life. And people found a way to excuse what happened to him. People try to find ways to excuse what happened to Trayvon or Jordan Davis or George Floyd. And if we just stop and look past the headlines and the photos in the newspaper and see the humanity in each other, we see the humanity. We try to ask ourselves, who was George Floyd? Not what happened to him or why did that happen to him? Who was he? He was a human being just like you. And so the goal, the way that we presented women of the movement, I wanted people to see the humanity in him. And I hope that they see the humanity in each other, regardless of if we're the same race, if we go to the same church, if we vote for the same party, that we just try and see the humanity in each other. That's the goal.
Well, it's good to know that women are part of the movement.
Oh, we're not just part of it. We're essential to